And the low point, some low points are, well, when you're self-employed, you have to really watch your accounts, and I made that mistake in the first year. I just had basically a cornflakes box full of receipts. I gave them to my accountant, and I was presented with a rather large bill. And but he was right, and then he showed me, look at the you have to think of it in that sense. So like that, to me, because I'm into the visual and the creative thing, and then have to sit down and look at numbers. I look at numbers anyway with editing and things like that, but actually look at numbers and money is it can be a bit of a nuisance, but you have to do it, because otherwise you'll get a large bill from your accountant. But if you keep things ticking over, then for like my second year running, then my bill was less than half, because I did basically what he told me to do. And another low point, I suppose, would be the hours. Like people see this and it looks great and everything, but you're sitting here. I've often sat here for 12 hours non-stop. You have a cup of tea and your lunch or whatever, and then I've often sat more just to get it done. And another thing is, when the edit is finished, when you actually have your finished timeline, that's one thing, you have to encode it. A lot of people have it on DVD, so it has to be encoded into MPEG-2 format. And if you want to do it right, you have to do what they call a 2-pass variable bitrate, and that takes a long time, especially now that I'm shooting in HD. A lot of people don't have Blu-ray facilities yet. I can make a Blu-ray disc, and that takes a long time, but most people have standard definition, so I have to downsize that from HD into standard definition, and it takes a long time. And I mean, you can only lately actually Apple have, I use a Final Cut Studio, and there's a tool called Compressor. Now, in the older versions of Compressor, once you set off to encode, that's it. You can't actually use Final Cut Pro. So and if you're using your computer as well, it slows down the encoding process. But like now, luckily for me, now they've released with the new version of Compressor, it encodes in the background, and you can go back to and open up another project and start editing. So it's doing that in the background, where beforehand it took over the whole thing. That would be a low point. And I suppose then another one would be with corporate work. It would be you do your job and then you send your invoice in, and often it takes about at least 30 days to get paid. And nowadays, the way Ireland has gone, I mean, sometimes it's taken 60 days to 90 days to get paid. And I mean, I luckily now, touch wood, I've never got into the solicitor's letters end of things, and I don't want to, but I've been lucky. But I know some colleagues of mine who've done a lot of work and a lot of jobs, and they just haven't got paid. That's a serious thing. You have to do the work and get paid, and that will be a low point, is waiting on payment.